Hey everybody, my name is Jay Martin, and first of all, sorry I haven't put a video up lately, but I just really haven't had a match that it really called out for me to do it, or I don't know, you get busy, but anyway, this is kind of a cool one. This is a match that I got to play. I got invited to come play a 3v3 game with the Espadas guys. And so the teams or who else playing. This is me right here. I'm the Prussian. In the middle, this is Magdrin. And all these guys are Espadas. And so it's kind of like an inter-clan or intra-clan match. And with me, the random. This is Magdrin in the middle. That's Magister. Up for their team opposite me is Cristofalo. In the middle is Red Skipper. And on the far right is Monty. And what starts is he uses some guerrilla infantry units here. And I'm not... Yeah, I mean, he's actually doing it right. I mean, he's trying to run his army. I've actually talked about doing this exact tactic, but in another video. But he's running his lineup to try to get with me. And let me get out of the way first of all. This match was super fucking laggy, and it was so laggy that I kept asking these guys, "Can we rehost? Can we rehost?" But I was the odd duck out there. I guess maybe they're a little more used to playing with it than I am. But anyway, so you might see some suboptimal play, is what I'm getting, or some things that look weird, and it took a good 5 seconds to move a fucking unit. But what happens here is he winds up trading his guerrilla units and 3 of his cav, maybe just 2 of his cav, for what turns out to be my 3 cav. And he's trying real hard to get his army into position here. But I'm still just not impressed with the guerrilla mechanic. I think this is a fairly decent execution of it, and these units are expensive, and it just doesn't wind up buying him much. It makes him walk into my light infantry fire, and I get a pretty good advantage there, you know what I mean? So I'm not... He burns, a couple of his cav and everything. I'm just not sure that it works out. So that's the guerrilla opening. I need to click it and fast forward because this game is long. What's going to go on here? I have sort of some notes about some things that I want to talk about. What happens pretty soon is he has to retreat, or he retreats, which is a good idea, because I have foot guards on his flank, and the really fast movement up, this dude really didn't reposition to try to hold this ground, and he winds up moving back. Right here, important to note, Monty is staking up. And I think I've talked before. I just hate stakes as a game mechanic. They make no sense to me from a procedural standpoint. How a fucking light infantry soldier is supposed to haul all his gear plus a fucking big ass tree limb and all the tools to entrench it. Much less how you can entrench that shit in about 30 fucking seconds. But from a gameplay perspective, I think it's detrimental to the play of the game. I mean, it slows things down. It can completely neutralize a very important aspect of your army, and I think that using cav is one of the more interesting parts of this game. So I don't know why they throw this cheap game mechanic in it to straight up eliminate that. You know what I mean? And the other thing I think that is, if you're a player who relies on stakes a lot, that's sort of detrimental to your long-term development. You know what I mean? And so I recommend not using them, and I also just kind of hate playing against them for those sort of opposite yet congruent reasons. I just really think they slow the game down and make the game less interesting. And if somebody stakes up on you, man, I mean, especially in a 3-3, they just send a guy, yep, he's doing the right thing. He's moving all his cav over this direction. It's not going to be useful there. So that's good. So the Spanish guy pulls back on my flank, and I'm going to do something kind of interesting right here. And I think he had like a little mouse glitch or a hotkey glitch. It forces all his units to reposition. I'm going to slow down to play for this. Oh, no, I'm not. Anyway, while his line is moving, that gives me a really good opportunity. See how his line is still moving? To get a cav charge in his lights. I notice that his line is not shooting back at my cav. So this cav unit is going to chew up all of his light infantry. At the end of this cav movement, he's only going to have this one light infantry unit back there. And I'm going to have all 5 of mine. And the way this plays out is this action right here wins me my flank, or it wins the game. If you're in a 3v3 and you lose your lights and your opponent still has his, you have a huge problem. And after that, you have to do something really, really drastic. Like, you have to rush and get in my face, pretty much. If you don't, especially playing as pressure, I'm very content just to sit back and shoot you to death until my lights run out of ammo. And that's actually what I do. And I think, so this guy, should have, well, I don't know. I don't want to, judge per se, but I think if he was going to win over here, he needed to be really, really aggressive all of a sudden. And, he has the tools to do it. I mean, he's got line infantry with 2 chevrons. I think those are guard units over there. So this is kind of a know your role situation, know the strategic position that you're in. If he doesn't get super aggressive, then I'm just going to shoot him to death, and my flank has won. It's just a matter of how long or how patient I'm going to be in killing him off. And in hindsight, I think I made a mistake. If in 3v3 games, if you have a clear advantage to clear out your flank, you should take it. And I didn't take it. I kind of asked my guys to calm down and, hey, if you give me another 10 minutes and you be patient, I'll kill him for you. But I really should have been more aggressive. I mean, I think that I could have rolled through this a lot quicker if I had just tried to, but instead I was very content to sit back and shoot lights. Something awkward is going on between these two players, and it has to do with unit positioning. This musketeer here, the firing arc of this unit is just touching the volts right there. And likewise, the firing arc of the line here is just touching the lights here. I kind of want to recommend against doing this sort of thing. The reason is that the only fire that's... Okay, I'm going to talk about a second thing. Let me change real quick. This Lancer charge right in there was a bad idea because he has double ranks of infantry. Whenever somebody has double ranks of infantry, you want to be really careful because the line unit behind is going to get to shoot at your cav now. He caught a good time when that line unit was moving, but see that volley they just shot? That was aimed right at that cav unit, which is now dead. But back to what I was saying, you don't want to do that where your line is just touching their lights and you get overflow bullets into their line, you get really inaccurate fire that way, you do minimal casualties. What I would have done, I think both of these players, what I would have done is pulled my line back. Either you have to do it one or the other. You can't do it in the middle. I mean, you either need to retreat your line so only your lights are engaged, or B, run up and get everybody engaged. But the kind of half measure that they got going on, that they had going on, the time has sort of passed because all the lights are dead now, is not ideal. No, that proves my point. See, this unit here is only shooting at the lights. This unit is not firing at all. Like, these units are not in each other's firing arcs. And this unit's getting the worst of it, because as long as that light is there, these line are going to shoot at that light, and all the bullets are going to pass through. He gets together there eventually, and he gets on it. Things are kind of awkward here in the middle. Like, these units aren't formed into line, and I think that if these players here had been a tad more aggressive, they could have really got some advantage there. And they do some nice cav work. I mean, this cav gets in and ruptures a line unit, and then it's going to take this cav out. Magdrin is doing the right thing, and he's pulling a line unit sort of back. See, like, move these two line up right now and shoot the fuck out of them. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Like, okay, you got a volley off, that's good, but you should be way more aggressive. You moving these two line units up, and like there's not a line here. You know what I mean? And that could be exploited incredibly easily if Skipper over there would get in on that. Now they do the right thing and get involved here, but I'd really like to see them moving up more aggressive both units. So there they go, they get it together. And I felt like that GB player didn't get maximum value out of their cav. Like, they charged 3 cav units into one area. Now, that's fine. But then after that, it just kind of limped back this way. And you could have retreated them and pulled them back and got a lot more value out of it. This is... Yeah, okay. This is my cav showing up. Eventually, I realize I don't need my cav to kill my guys, so I send my cav over, and I have 2 cav units that show up. And I think I get pretty good value out of them. That's cav unit A, that's cav unit B. Cav unit A, I swing in to rout those dudes. pretty good rear charge. And Cav Unit B, I charge in here and force this guy to form square. Now, that's a good time to do it because, and Magdarin is right with me, moving his line unit set, because this Cav Unit, I can sort of juggle between these and make both these units form square, and we get sort of mass casualties. This charge, I continue into the Old Guard to make them square so they can't really participate, and then I continue that charge into the light unit there, and then I believe I go after the general. So, and the effect of this is to cause a whole fuck ton of disorganization on the French player's right. Over here, our plan has gone pretty well. He actually, what I had done is pulled back. He got out of square, and then I got back in there. I think my Cav unit is going to die mostly from getting shot by Magdarin more than anything. But that's okay. I mean, that Cav unit did its, essentially I traded that Cav unit for the 2-line, and that's pretty good. About this time, notice on the mini-map that the French player is pulling back, and Manchester is one on the left, essentially, and I think I start screaming at him to get his left moving. He has an advantage. He needs to get it in there and finish it. Is kind of what I was kind of like, fucking move, fuck. Like I probably spazzed out on him a little bit. But he does get moving there eventually. So good work, dude. And over here, Magister is really just got to finish up on Monty. So, good work, Magister. I mean, he winds up winning his flank before I do. Gold star, man. Nice work over there. And that shows good teamwork, too, because the only way that we were able to rupture this is I think that both Magdarin sent 2 cav, and then I sent 2 cav over here. And that should be enough to turn the tide, you know what I mean? There goes another cav charge into that. Old Guard just do not die, man. Everybody should be France. Every game be France. And I'm going to kick the battle into fast forward. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this time. I'm still able to. My lights are not out of ammunition yet, so all I'm going to do is shoot them up. And at this point, I get to move a unit up to help Magdarin in the center, because we've kind of ruptured the gap between these two players, and because they don't have any cav, that lets me spread all my line units out and move them over to help him over here. And they did the right thing. I mean, these two guys, Skipper and Christophe, did the right thing. I mean, they kept trying to get units in there to plug that gap, because if you lose that gap, you have a problem. You get flanked from either direction. But eventually, they just kind of run out of units is sort of what happened. The center fight between Skipper and Magdarin winds up being super competitive. Both of them are down to, I think, just a handful of units at the end. So they did a nice job of just knocking each other out. And over here, this is sort of the end of the French army. I'm not really sure why these units are right. This unit is shooting this unit in the back. It's not. Oh, he's trying to move it. Okay. This game is really laggy, so a lot of the unit organization was not ideal. Not ideal. And I think to finish it off, Christophe Flo just kind of gives up the ghost and moves in for a melee charge. And I think he actually kills my lights with those melee charges. I tell you what, Spanish line with a couple chevrons on him and a decent general is pretty rough. Pretty high quality units. Yeah, so that was the battle. And I'm going to sign off right here, and I'll pick you back up at the results screen. So we have some results. Again, thanks to the Espadas guys for inviting me to play with them. I had a blast. And you can see the game was pretty even. Everybody had a pretty good showing. I was, from a personal standpoint, I was glad that, or what I was excited about my play is that I managed to really minimize my losses a little bit. That would have left me in a healthy position. If, say, one of our other players had lost their flank, that would allow me to get in there and help them. I think the failure I had in this game is I should have killed my opponent quicker. I think I certainly had the ability to do that. And in 3v3, time matters. Time definitely matters. Imagine if Monty beats Magister on the other flank, then time is a factor in 3v3s. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Again, thanks to Espadas guys for letting me play with you. And thank you for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe, yada yada. Bye.